You and me.
Kinda.
Kinda. How's it going, everybody? It's the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show. Talking news and comics this week. Comic news. Comic reviews.
Comic news. Comic reviews.
Everybody got a day off.
News.
There is some food news this week. I think it's just one, maybe two.
Mm.
No, it's only one, but it's a really big one. It's very important for everyone.
Everyone
In the world. Well, in the United States.
Everyone.
What's this you're talking about?
Food news this week. It's all a surprise. Memorial Day. Everyone get an extra day this week. Probably day off.
Yeah. Got an extra
Great.
day off.
Don't
That's
be so
good to
chatty
hear.
about it.
Oh, does that mean you'll be able to do the show tomorrow, David?
Yeah. This would have been. Yeah.
You'll be here tomorrow.
would-
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. I wasn't going to be here tonight. Originally.
Oh, but because of the day.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, I'm looking forward to that. Because there was shit for comics this week. I had trouble.
I mean,
It was the last week of the month. That's usually a pretty thin sampling, you know.
Well, no, next week's still in May, technically. But
oh, is that right?
yeah,
I
May
mean,
31.
the shop got short shipped books. I mean, I only had
Of
like
course they
5
did.
books.
Well, that's going to get worse. We're going to talk about that in the news. Shipping is going to become a big problem, I think, but we'll see. And then more Dawn of DC, and then the return of some favorites that it could have been a moment of destruction, but it's not. And that's it for the news, and then reviews of some books that I don't know. Taylor mentioned in the chat the news we're talking about this week doesn't really impact him because he's so basic. I felt so fucking basic this week with my picks. I really did. Not that that's a bad thing, but there just wasn't a lot to choose from. But that's it. Anything else we're gonna add? Nothing. Good. Awesome. Anybody got plans for the big Memorial Day holiday?
We already had our cookout today, so
no.
Tomorrow's kind of a kickback and just relax day.
Nice. I'm not doing shit either. I'm working in the garden. What about you, Taylor? Nothing.
I don't have any real plans now. But hey, Memorial Day is supposed to be a day of solemn remembrance, right?
Yeah, dude. Right. So there you go.
It's not supposed to be barbecues and vacations and shit like that.
I'm working in the garden. I'm going to do work.
That's all well and good. That's contemplative.
Cutting trees and exactly. It's contemplative. Yeah. Living with nature. There's all kinds of snakes out in my yard. I've seen like 3 snakes this week. It was great. They're good ones. They're
the good ones, the non-poisonous ones.
Well, venomous snakes are venomous.
Well, how good could these snakes be if they're willing to hang out with you?
Yeah, right. No shit.
The company they keep is pretty shoddy here.
Yeah, but they're the good ones. They're the ones that eat the rats and the mice and the things like that.
Hell yeah.
They also eat the toads, which I kind of hate. I like having the frogs around. They sound good and they eat the bugs.
Well, generally speaking, snakes will eat anything that fits in their mouth.
Yeah, no shit. Cool. All right, let's do it. Let's do the damn thing. Very apropos because it is a boring episode. There's not much. Maybe one pretty good news thing. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever.
Somebody wake up Hicks.
We're doing more alien stuff. Alien. Yeah. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It is another episode of This Geek and Comics Outright Geekery's Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show!
Taylor, a.k.a. David, hanging out. But yeah, the new Alien movie is supposed to be like between Alien and Aliens. I mean,
well, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of story to tell there, right? Are they like?
Yeah.
Is it the founding of the colony or something like that? I guess that could be.
I haven't heard.
There is like
else.
a lot of deleted footage from Aliens that's basically around Hadley's Hope.
Mm-hmm.
How the aliens, how they were discovered on the planet by the colonists and everything. So
okay, that sounds about like what I was just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of already made this when James Cameron did that. There's like cut footage from Aliens that involves that.
That's cool.
When it comes to the Alien franchise, there's 2 outstanding movies in it and mostly forgettable other things.
Prey
Oh, yeah.
is outstanding.
Prey's
that
that's
count?
Predator though. That's not
Prey
Alien.
is Predator.
Oh, does that not count in the whole?
No,
Oh,
what a
okay.
stupid
Different
thing
fran-
to ask. Of course, it
different-
doesn't count.
Well, I
Different
mix all that shit
franchise.
together.
There was
man.
one fucking crossover movie. They are 2 separate franchises.
But
There
man,
were
those
2
crossover
crossover
was
movies.
great. Yeah, they've had a couple, and
On the whole, there are
loved it.
more good Predator movies than there are Alien movies now. I
Hey,
would
you're
say.
not wrong. You're not wrong. Terminator as well. Terminator's like bottom of the barrel. It's like 2.
I will
done 100 of
contend
those
that you
fucking
can take
things.
you can take T1, T2, and then Terminator Dark Fate, and basically that is a trilogy.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And Dark Fate was okay.
Dark Fate is better than the one that had Matt
But
Smith in
every
it.
other one,
And-
The one
except
with
1 and 2.
Christian Bale in
Million
it, I
Clark.
thought I didn't think that was as bad as a lot of people rag on it for, but it wasn't.
Terminator.
It wasn't much of a
Terminator
Terminator
Salvation.
movie. I would say.
Terminator
wasn't,
Salvation is
exactly.
a good movie. It's just
A bad
it
Terminator.
uses the
movie.
Terminator. It uses the Terminator franchise, but as a post-apocalyptic movie, it is very good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. What'd y'all do this week? Anything cool? I did nothing. I just spent a lot of time outside. In the yard,
My
in the
nephew, my
garden.
mom, and I went to go see the Little Mermaid movie.
Oh,
Nice
I
How
could
was
have
that?
had that. Yeah, how is it? I heard it was pretty damn good for.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as these like live action remakes go, this is probably one of the better ones.
nice.
The original movie is honestly just a bare bones plot. You know, it's just an excuse to move from song to song.
Yeah.
And so they let things breathe a little bit more than the original one did. So
okay,
it's better in that regard. But there are some things that just inherently are better in animation, like
Right.
the choreographed dance numbers and stuff.
Yeah. Right. I mean, but this is basically animation as well. It's
Sure,
just-
that's true. Maybe it fares well because a lot of it had to be CG because so much of it was underwater.
Yeah. Aladdin is my favorite of the.
Yeah, that was not bad.
I
That's pretty
love
solid.
Aladdin so much. Everyone talks shit on Will Smith. I thought he was great. No, was he ever going to be Robin Williams? No, no one's ever going to be. But I thought
The
Will Smith
worst-
was cool.
I think the worst
In a
ones
way,
are the
he played
ones
that
where
shit.
they just like. I think Lion King is probably the worst one.
Pinocchio.
Just
Did you watch
because
Pinocchio with Tom Hanks?
I
It's
did
dog
watch
shit.
Pinocchio. I
It's
watched
dog
that Pinocchio.
shit.
That one had the unfavorable timing of coming out along the same time like Guillermo del Toro's.
Oh
Pinocchio was
yeah,
coming
and it
out
was
and just-
really fun.
That was really fucking good, and like
Yeah.
so, just this one is just
Mm,
fucking dog shit by comparison. Yeah,
mm.
but Lion King was basically shot for shot. You know, there was so little change that there's just no point to it.
Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, and I don't even know of any others. I guess they have 101 Dalmatians.
A lot of the
Cruella
songs
is
are
kind
just
of
worse. You know.
maybe, but
Well, Cruella and like the Sleeping Beauty one, whatever it's called, Maleficent, right?
yes, it's
Yeah.
more of a spin-off.
Those were both. That's basically just like Wicked, but like with Disney.
Yeah,
characters,
right.
You know.
That's
right.
I think Maleficent and The Jungle Book are the only 2 I've watched live action. I've pretty much stayed away from a lot of
Yeah,
like,
I don't
live
even
I don't
action.
think Beauty and the
All the
Beast is
Jungle
all
Book.
that bad. I agree with Gomer that Aladdin's pretty solid. So you know,
Love it. We've agreed on something. Mark the calendar. Dave, anything cool this week that you did that's worth mentioning? Are you surprised by the question? We do it every
well, you
week.
put a lot of pressure on with the worth mentioning part. I mean,
Yeah, right. Oh well, if that caveat with that asterisk, hell no. Some
Not-
Kickstarters. I did some Kickstarters.
Well, I did some Kickstarters.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on one Kickstarter to kind of finish before I do another Kickstarter.
now, Dave, I'm going to point out he was using that as an example of something that wasn't worth mentioning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
Just
nothing
saying.
cool. Let's do news.
nothing cool. Nothing cool.
Just... Lame and lazy.
Poor Dave. I don't know why he puts up with your bullshit.
I don't know either. Welcome to the news, everyone. We're starting off with Image Comics in the story of the year, probably. Image Comics has signed exclusively with Lunar Distribution, moving away from Diamond after, I don't know, all time since Diamond or since
Yeah,
Image was a thing.
The Image
30
was
some odd years, 40 years.
yeah born into the Diamond fold here, which honestly I'm glad to see a little bit more competition because Diamond is notoriously dog shit.
It is.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I don't know
I
that
agree.
Lunar's all that much better, but I feel like it can't
They're
be a
not.
bad thing for them to at least not have like such
You
a
would-
monopoly. And they haven't for a few years now. DC went to Lunar a
You
little
would
while
think
back. But
you would
Yes.
think in a capitalist system, competition would breed better.
that's supposed
services
to
and
be the
prices.
whole point. Yeah.
But
It
that
don't.
It's not. Diamond has just been like, "Do-de-do, we're late stage capitalism. Do-de-do, we're the only game in town." And they're
Yeah.
not.
But when there is competition, though, I mean, weren't you saying that? Oh, if your comic book shop gets their shit from Lunar, it's gonna be late.
Yeah, right now,
Why? Why?
the comic book shop, most of the books from that get distributed by Lunar come a week later. The AWA books in particular.
Yeah.
The only books that really seem to make it to the store in the week that they're supposed to be out are DC books from Luna, and
Really?
yeah, because like AWA books are like a week late.
Well, AWA distributes through multiple channels.
Yes,
Lunar
but the
being
shop,
one of them.
but the shop gets them from Luna.
I see. I don't understand that. All right. So, I mean, this all started when Diamond froze shipping during the pandemic, and it forced DC to find an alternative. And the dominoes, just started falling. Marvel went to Penguin Random House, as did a couple of other publishers like IDW and Dark Horse. Others like Oni and AWA started delivering through multiple channels. All right. So the third pillar has fallen. What does this mean for Diamond? It definitely makes things more. Let's not talk about Diamond right now. Diamond, I think, is going to be okay. All right. They still have toys. They still are able to be like a middleman for the other books that are being pushed, the other publishers that are being pushed by Lunar. And from what I've read, that's actually been more profitable for them to be like a secondhand distributor because they don't have to have any warehouse space. They don't, you know what I mean? It's easier for them just to sort of be an eBay middleman. I'm buying something on eBay, but selling it on eBay at the same time, sort of the shit. But this makes things more complicated for stores and for consumers. Like you said, you're getting books late through Lunar, but only some of them. Why?
I mean,
Why?
honestly, though,
Why?
once
Well,
you just
in
make
the
that one
discussion-
adjustment, though, just like where you get to like, if everything is permanently like 1 week later than it was going to be, then you had to deal with that 1 week, and then it's just the schedule, moving forward.
Well, it
Yeah.
is, but not if the books are supposed to be in stores on a certain day.
That's relative,
Yeah.
though. What does it matter with like you've adjusted your expected like arrival date?
Well,
Because it's
I
not
can tell
every.
you,
It's not everybody. It's
I
not
can
every
tell you
store,
from
and it's
personal
not.
experience
Okay.
that the books that come a week later from Lunar are already in the shop the week I get my books. Prior.
But what? Well, why is the shop?
But I
holding
can't
onto
get
your
them.
books?
I can't get them until the next week.
Why?
I mean,
I-
whether they're in the
I-
shop or whether they're on Mars, if like you start expecting this is the day I can pick up my books, again, I just don't see why that matters all that much. It sucks. It sucks that you have to wait a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
once you've reframed your expected timetable, just that's what it is now.
No, and you're not wrong, but what you're saying is like the consumer has to have an expectation, and I don't think that's really fair. Because I think the consumer expectation should be these books are scheduled to come out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday whenever they're supposed to fucking come out, which is another angle here, changing the day that new comic book day is. It's a lot more Tuesday now than it used to be. But it's weird, dude, that there should be an expectation, and then it's just we're talking about Image and Lunar, Michael. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it is only a banner.
I
but
know. When
just
I had a
because
discussion
it's
with Travis
just
at
the
the
one
comic
I've got
shop,
up.
I had this discussion with Travis at the comic shop that he said that because I did bring up the fact that with the exception of DC, most of the other books come out a week later, and he said, and I did not know if this would be affecting Image in the way, but he did mention that he believes, because I guess he had been informed through whatever channels that Lunar come
What?
newsletters and stuff, that they would probably be looking at adjusting the shippings.
Well, they have to.
Yeah.
If they have this much power in the marketplace now, having the number 2 and number 3, as well as Dark Horse, as well as IDW, off of Diamond, they need to do something. They need to do something and make sure that the books can get there when they're supposed to get there. And that's just basic sort of shit for me, dude. I don't know. It just seems weird. And yes, Diamond was the only game in town and people did not like them, but whatever. There's another angle here. There's a couple more angles here. There's the fact that Lunar Distribution is literally owned by Discount Comic Book Service, DCBS, and that's a comic book retailer itself, which means that any comic book shop that is buying books that are exclusive to Lunar is basically paying money to a direct competitor in order to get those books. And that don't seem right. That don't seem right.
No, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, there. I saw on a news.
That's
bit
almost
that,
monopolistic.
thank you. That is in my notes. It's almost a monopoly in another way, but it's moving the monopoly away from the publishers, distribution, and the purchasers, the stores, and the way they have to purchase. And I don't know. It feels like we might have traded one devil for another. It's weird, but there's one last angle here that I really love. In June 2020, Bleeding Cool obtained a letter sent by Eric Stevenson. He's the publisher and CCO at Image. He sent out a letter to Image Comics creators and Image Comics staff. In it, he said, "Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. It's true. We can either learn from past mistakes or we can make them again." In comics, it often seems as though we like to make the same mistakes. Just ask DC. And what he's referring to is when DC jumped ship from Diamond and went over to Lunar. But he went on to talk about the 94 crash that stemmed mostly from issues with distribution, and then went on to say, "This is a hasty, sociopathic decision made by people who do not care about the long-term welfare of our marketplace, let alone about comics." So I found that really ironic, that what a difference a few years made.
Yeah, that was a very specific line of argument he was making.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious now, yeah.
Yeah, it did not age well. Did
Yeah.
not age well.
Put that in that category. Yep.
But we'll see how this affects shipping. It doesn't really affect Taylor at all because he buys all his Image stuff in trade, which is not a
I'm
bad
basic.
idea. But no, it's not that you're basic. You had a problem where even if you learned that an issue number 1 at Image Comics was a good pickup and maybe you'd want to follow the series, you would not have an opportunity to pick that issue up.
Usually not, no. Usually
would
those things
sell
fly
out.
off the shelves.
Mm-hmm. Will that problem be solved, with Lunar? I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, so DC Comics, moving on, has added to the Dawn of DC event. It's not even an event. It's more like I don't know.
Like a publication,
Yeah, it's like
Roadmap.
mantra, I guess.
promotion or whatever. But I just want to run through the history of the Dawn of DC sort of things we have here. If you'll remember, this was, and we had Night Terrors teased and the Return of the Justice League. And then we had one with Dr. Fate and that fucking Detective Chimp, which was weird. But it looks like for this new one, they've sort of gotten rid of Detective Chimp. You see Detective Chimp is gone. The JL one is also gone,
I'm glad to see the JL thing gone because they just now launched Titans number 1 a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You need to give them some time to be like the new world order, like premier peacekeeping force in the world. When, that it has like no legs to it if you just know the Justice League is going to be back later this same fucking year. And here we are, right? Like halfway through the year already.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. So I'm not sure what's going on with all these changes to this thing, but Gotham War. That's what we're getting. It's Batman taking on the brand new crime boss in Gotham, who is Catwoman. All right, so it's going to be a pretty big crossover. It begins in August. It's taking place within Batman and Catwoman, as well as in 2 one-shots and a miniseries. I could go into heavy detail about this, but basically, crime has plummeted in Gotham, and it's because Catwoman is doing her own sort of brand of what Batman does. But I'm sure there's going to be, some strife there.
Vigilantism.
Yeah, her own sort of vigilante.
It kind of reminds me of when Daredevil was the Kingpin for a few years there.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I thought. I thought that was a pretty good book because he did step over the
No, that was
line.
pretty cool. That was
you'll
back
remember-
in Bendis' run, if I remember correctly.
It was. If you'll remember, Jean Lewin Yang kind of did the same thing with Iron Fist. Remember that? Like his dad was like in charge.
Do you
of,
mean
like,
Shang-Chi?
Oh yeah, Shang-Chi. My bad. Yeah, Shang-Chi. His dad was in charge, and then he took over trying to make it like a kinder, gentler sort of
Yeah, like
Yakuza or whatever the fuck
I'm
it
gonna put
was.
my hands on the steering wheel and see if I could take it somewhere better. You know.
Yeah, so I think that's what this is going to be. This is stemming out of the Night Terrors stuff, which is just so huge. I'm probably not going to read any of it. So I'm not sure if I'm going to read this either. I've had my fill of Batman and Catwoman. I'm sorry, I just have. This might be good. I'm just not sure I care enough.
Who's the creative team on it?
Oh, it's across the books.
Oh, so this is more like what was the thing that
full-on
just ended?
crossover.
That just like the Lazarus Planet thing that just ended, where it's
Yes.
like a bunch of different people, a bunch of different chefs in the kitchen, which I don't think worked too well for.
It was
Many
kind
cooks.
of. It's kind of different because the story
Don't
is happening.
ever reference that fucking Too Many Cooks video.
Yeah, right.
The
story is happening in the main Batman book and the main Catwoman book. So the creators who are on those books are going to be running the thing. So it's just Chip Zdarsky and Teenie Howard
Okay, that's
doing the whole
fair.
thing. Yeah, there is a Rosenberg Red Hood. I think it's 2 issues that they're doing of a special. The Gotham War a Red Hood #1 in September with Jason Todd. And again, that's going to be Matthew Rosenberg and Nicola. Oh, don't get me started on this name. Sismezia. It sounds very Ukrainian, you know. But anyway, yeah, this looks cool. But man, again, I just had my fill of both, really Batman and Catwoman. I just don't give a shit.
I think this sounds pretty cool. So I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm glad to know that it's just going to be like 2 perspectives and not like a dozen of them.
Yes. And that was the problem with Mark Waid's event. What Mark Waid was doing with that whole
I mean, you can hardly call it Mark Waid's event because he wrote like what the opener and the closer, right? And everything else.
That's all he
everyone
did.
Else.
Yeah. It should have been more in a different way, but I don't know.
I feel like you need like a central like event book that everything else kind of like branches out from in order for it to have like a unified vision of what's going on. You know?
And this is only a few issues of both Batman and it's Batman 137 and 138 and Catwoman 57 and 58. So it's only a couple of months.
So it's a very small event by comparison. Like Night Terrors, which is
not like Night Terror shit.
40-something issues.
It's nuts.
That was a lot, yeah.
That book is nuts, dude. All right, finally, this could have been a moment of destruction, but Rom and the Micronauts are both quote-unquote coming back to Marvel Comics, but not really. It's just omnibuses for the amazing runs that they had in the 70s and early 80s for both these characters.
Well, I mean, that is news for people who would like to read it because
these are
these
some
things
of the
have been
comics
stuck
that I
in
cut
like
my teeth on when I was a kid.
Yeah, these have been kept in publication hell for, decades now,
It really has. It's weird that Hasbro is finally opening this up, allowing this, because Hasbro still owns ROM, owns the Micronauts. They're really missing the opportunity to call it the Romnibus and the Micromnibus. Just saying.
What are they even doing? I mean,
why are they even trying?
They are people who are paid to come up with these things, and you're just spitting it out for free. Come on, guys.
For free.
Be careful now. You don't want Hasbro to send any Pinkertons to your home.
Yeah, some Pinkertons to get me. That's only if you steal magic cards.
That person didn't steal magic cards. They got sent the magic cards by mistake.
And
I am
also,
amazed
a week
that
later,
Pinkertons are still a thing.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like hiring Dog the Bounty Hunter.
It's essentially is what it is. They
weird,
went
dude.
to this person's house and basically terrorized that person until they gave him back the cards.
Well,
for a mistake that they made.
Well, they did ask for them back.
For a shit expansion that nobody wanted.
Yeah, right. They did ask for him back, and the dude said no before everything. It wasn't as dramatic as stormtroopers.
There is nothing they could have done with those magic cards though that are worse than the PR they're getting for sending the
for sure
Pinkertons after some kids.
100%. Yeah. Okay, so this is fine and good, but damn it, I want new shit. Okay, cool collections are one thing, but I've read them. Okay,
man, I don't know, man.
I've read them.
These have a lot of nostalgia to them, and I'm not gonna say they aren't cool. I'm glad to see them out seeing the light of day again, but I don't know that there's like a big demand for new Micronauts and ROM stories.
Now
'Cause
you
we got
say
new
that
Micronauts. We got new Micronauts with IDW, and we got new
we
ROM with
did, but it was
IDW, and
all
they didn't last.
Yeah,
no,
there
they
you go.
did. It was all because of the Transformers and GI Joe, and those issues did go pretty far. They ran up all the way to the end of the big Unicron event that closed out the IDW Phase 2, and then they started a new Transformers run, and it failed miserably, and then they lost the license. But to my knowledge, those books were selling. It was carrying 3 different Transformers ongoing series, dude. And it had to have been carrying. Those issues went into the 20s and 30s in a lot of cases. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping beyond hope that this news portends. Who came first, Captain or Captain Battle? Man, I don't even know who Captain Battle is, Jonathan.
Yeah,
Jonathan
you're
Cast asking me who Captain Battle
that's
is.
too deep a cut for us. I don't know
Yeah,
who that is.
I'm gonna assume Captain Battle just because of the tone of the question, the phrasing.
Okay,
Yeah, Captain
Captain
Battle
Battle's
is-
first appearance was in May 1941. So when was
Oh.
Captain America's first appearance?
It was around there. I think it was. I know that Captain America was around before Pearl Harbor, so that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Then.
Cool question.
Dave, your research guy. We're gonna lean on you for this one.
Yeah, we have to lean on you.
Captain America came first by 2 months.
Oh, there we go.
Suck it,
Captain
Captain
America-
Battle.
Yeah, suck
It
it,
said-
Captain Battle.
It said Captain Battle was May, and Captain America debuted in Captain America Comics #1 in March 1941.
Nice.
Man, unless Mark Waid or Ed Brubaker or these other guys who are like the comic book historian writers pull them into modern continuity, I don't have
Yeah,
much
no one's
knowledge
gonna
of these
know.
guys.
I
Yeah.
kinda-
Me neither.
I kind of thought
I
that,
know who John Steele and like Amazing Man are because they were written into like Iron Fist and stuff. But
I kind of
Right.
thought maybe that was a character that Rob Liefeld like pilfered from somebody, pilfered the license off of somebody.
So back to Rom and the Micronauts Captain Battle. Does this suggest that Hasbro and Marvel are playing nice and are playing so nice that the Transformers and G.I. Joe licenses are going to move to Marvel?
That might be a good
doing any
gesture on their
spoilers,
part.
That's a big deal right now in terms of G.I. Joe and Transformers.
it could
Because
be.
right
I mean,
now we haven't heard where the Transformers franchise was going. And we've
I'm
I'm
heard
surprised
rumors.
we still haven't heard. Yeah.
So
it-
this might be an overture on Marvel's part to get goodwill towards them.
Maybe.
Oh, you're right.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe it's that's a good.
Well, wouldn't the overture be on Hasbro's part? I mean,
it would. Hasbro.
Marvel
is
is still publishing this, right? Won't they both make money off of this?
They will for sure, but Hasbro wasn't letting them publish this for
Yeah.
the longest time. That's the point, I think.
Yeah.
Right? And now that they are, does that suggest something even bigger in the pipeline in terms of more franchises
It might.
from Hasbro
Although,
coming over?
honestly, though, even if it doesn't pertain to like a bigger collaboration in the future with G.I. Joe and Transformers, but
Yeah.
they're basically just sitting on a pile of money by refusing to let this be published, you know? It's not doing them
for
any
sure.
fucking good just to be like
Mhm.
stuck in a vault somewhere, so they might as well let them publish and they can both make some money.
Yeah. Now, far be it from me to make any spoilers, but I'm going to spoil something. So, mute for the next 30 seconds. Jonathan, dude, Transformers vs. Terminator, it was dope. Yeah, it's a rad book, dude.
It's pretty cool.
Good shout out. Good shout out. But again, spoilers now. 3, 2, 1. Give yourself 30 seconds. There's a spoiler for the new Beast Wars. It is going to have an end credit scene that suggests the G.I. Joes and the Transformers are going to cross over.
They did say something earlier in the week about a new G.I. Joe movie being in the works.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's one of those things where, like, why haven't they done this already? You know,
Thank
it seems
you.
like such
Thank
low-hanging
you.
fruit.
It sounds like such a good idea. So, if you have that crossing over, there's absolutely no reason why Micronauts and ROM and all of these other Hasbro properties can't all belong in the same shared universe. And Marvel is a great test bed to do all of that shit. So, my hope is that we get just the same way we got this 20th Century Studios, imprint where they're doing the Alien, the Predator, and
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, right? We can get our own Hasbro imprint over at Marvel and get top talent demanding to do big stuff over there. Hickman on Transformers, dude. That's all I gotta say. Hickman on Transformers.
That would be the shit.
Taylor going to start reading some
I
Transformers.
might actually start reading.
That would get me to do it.
I
Yeah,
know.
if Hickman was writing Transformers, I would read it then.
He was on this show for years, and we would have like a 10-minute segment every week, and he would just be quiet the whole time. Because he's like, I have no fucking clue, man.
I don't have anything to contribute.
Yeah, it was so fun in this weird way. But I know Hickman would get your ass, doing it. So we'll have more on that as it breaks. And I'm expecting by July that we have an announcement about where TF and Transformer or where TF and Joe is going to go. So we have to. San Diego Comic-Con, they're going to make a huge deal out of it. They have to. They have to. All right, moving on. Food news.
Yummy.
Got a little bit of weird food news, just a one hitter, but the home of Taco Tuesday is where? What restaurant?
Chipotle? I don't know.
No, not Chipotle.
They don't even do tacos, do they? No. I don't think so.
There's a restaurant that holds the trademark for the term Taco Tuesday, right? It is not Taco Bell. It is Taco John's, a Wyoming-based food chain. They have about 380 locations. They held the trademark since '89. But Taco Bell has filed a petition with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to cancel that trademark. Now, they don't want to take the trademark. They don't want to own the rights to the phrase Taco Tuesday. They want everyone to own the rights to Taco Tuesday. They want everyone. It should be.
This is one of those things like the Happy Birthday song where I had no idea this was even copyrighted.
Mm-hmm. If Taco John's wanted to be an asshole, they could sue the hell out of a lot of people.
They could. I mean, how many times you see Taco Tuesday in like movies and in like TV shows?
Like in the Lego movie was Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the specific one I was thinking about.
Right? Yeah. Dude, we all three were. That's wild. But
they could have shut that shit down. Taco John's could have.
Actually, Taco John's is not that bad. I've had it.
No,
before.
It's not bad.
Good.
I've heard good things.
Is that just like across the Midwest? You said it was Ohio based or Wisconsin based? Wyoming. Okay, I got I was really off.
The closest Taco John's is in White House from me.
Oh, nice. That's pretty damn close, actually.
That's not too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
So, of course, the petition was filed on a Tuesday. We don't have any follow-ups except Taco John said, hey, we're having our new Taco Tuesday promotion, so come in and get a taco.
Honestly, this seems like a win-win because, like, Taco Bell gets kind of like a goofy promotion here. Like, we're fighting for the people of Taco Tuesday or whatever. And I've never fucking heard of Taco John's, and this is a pretty good feather in their cap, honestly.
Yeah. Does Taco John's have breakfast? I bet they don't. Taco Bell's got the most disgusting breakfast ever.
And the weirdest spokesman for it.
Yeah, it's so weird. Eli, I found Taco John's far superior to Taco Bell.
I'll have to take your word for it. I will. Never heard of Taco John's.
Taco John's is not bad. Their burritos are actually really good.
Nice. Eli's over at the comic book.
I know we're talking.
I will say that is a low hurdle to clear. Being better
it really
than Taco Bell.
Dude. It really is.
Well, I mean, there's a food truck here in town that has some pretty badass burritos.
Oh, of course, food trucks are almost always better than like when you get at fast food.
I love a damn food truck. Oh my, we got an Italian one that comes through town every couple days. Oh my god, it's amazing, dude. They do their own fried ravioli.
Welcome to Food Talk, our food truck news.
Let's do top 3. Dude, we should do a food truck review show.
If it's different from food news, because food news is usually gross as hell.
One this week. I did have a chicken flavored beer, but I thought it was too gross even for us.
Oh god, I'm so sorry you mentioned that. That
beer butt
vile.
Chicken. It's like for beer butt chicken, like for grilling your chicken. And I'm like, well, that just defeats
like
the whole
marinating
purpose.
your chicken?
No, not marinating. Like, you ever heard of beer butt chicken? Like, you stick a whole can of beer.
You stick a can inside a chicken and roast it.
And then you roast it. Yeah. But anyway.
That was for a while a very Cajun thing to do, but it kind of proliferated.
It's widespread now for sure. I got top 3.
That was such a hipster thing to say. That it used to be something that the locals did.
Cool, but now.
Bunch of posers.
Tom Taylor and Travis Moore on Nightwing 104. I think we'll talk about that later. Very nice.
Yeah.
But next issue is a first-person issue. A first-person perspective.
That's going to be sick.
Are Nightwing. It's going to be fucking sick.
I'm looking forward to that the same way I was looking forward to the continuous montage issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. Storm #1 by Ann Nocente and Sid Kosian. Way too retro for me, so I
Yeah,
just want to throw that out.
that was like a Morlocks looking storm from like
Yeah, I was
bygone
very
era.
excited for that book, but then I got it. I was like, oh God, what? What? But I think we're gonna have a lot of crossover this week. My number 3 is Fury #1.
That's my number 3 as well.
Al Ewing, Scott Eaton, Tom Riley, Adam Kubert, Ramon Rosanos. There's so many artists on this, and for good reason. It's a romp basically through the history, both old and new, of the Nick Furies. The art was great in this. It had a throwback to the Steranko sort of style. In a lot of places.
Like a lot of people kind of like when people talk about like great art books, I think like the Nick Fury books, like Steranko books from back in the day, they often get overlooked in that discussion. They had some trippy shit for a lot of those books.
It was beautiful shit.
They managed to bring some of that into play here, and it was really cool to see. Al Ewing wrote this. He's having himself a little tear here with these little like through the generations type of books. These things that are kind of like curating the history of a character for you. He did it with Ant-Man, he did it with Wasp, and now he's doing it with Fury. And this was a whole lot of fun. We got like World War II era Nick Fury, we got Spy era Nick Fury, we get modern Nick Fury. Yeah, we got Man on the Wall.
The Unseen. Yeah.
And we have Nick Fury Jr., who's like the main Nick Fury now.
Yeah. I thought this was a really, really well done book. It hit number 3 basically because I just didn't have a lot to pull from this week. But I really loved what Al Ewing did with all of these artists. This is as much an art book as it is a writer's book. So, yeah, it reminded me of that Steranko shit in a lot of places. So, yeah, really, really solid book. Taylor, that was your number 3 as well. Any honorable mentions and anything else on Fury?
I'll do an honorable mention for Green Arrow number 2.
Not bad.
I'm enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. This was just kind of a transit. This was just kind of a placeholder issue, right? Because like we had our big establishment thing last time, and this is us just seeing Ollie on this alien planet. We still don't have a lot of answers as to what's going on.
How about fuck Peacemaker? God, why does Peacemaker gotta show up all
Peacemaker
the time?
is fucking ever. He had a popular show. They're really pushing him hard, and I just kind of accept it. Honestly, okay, Peacemaker versus Green Arrow is a pretty good matchup. I mean, that's pretty evenly matched. Like, if they sent Peacemaker after, like, Superman, like, that's stupid. What are you doing?
Right.
But, like, him versus Green Arrow, yeah, that seems kind of cool.
He feels kind of like an anti-Captain America sort of character, a U.S. agent kind of guy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of... They're basically using him as U.S. agent, the way...
Yeah.
Like, over at Marvel.
Yeah, I don't
like the government stooge, yeah.
Yeah, I hate his guts. He sucks. Maybe that's the point. Maybe
you're supposed to. I mean, yeah, he's this fucking government tool, Yeah. Tool in multiple senses of the word there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about Fury. Just I liked all like the gadgets and like the different art styles, and I enjoyed like kind of the like old Silver Age narration that they put into things for like the Spy era and everything.
Yeah, but then in other places, Al Ewing like had modern writing, like for the Unseen with the Watcher. Yeah, it was very well done.
He has a great talent for writing that's very characteristic to different eras of comic books. Like with the Ant-Man thing, like the Hank Pym stuff from like the Silver Age books. That was really very distinct from what you saw from like the Eric O'Grady stuff and from like the Scott Lang stuff. And similar here, right? The old like Golden Age Howling Commando stuff is very different from the Steranko stuff,
Yeah. Good call out. We share the same. I think we're gonna have the same books. I don't know. We'll see. Dave. Honorable mentions number 3. I have no idea what you're picking. It was so random this week.
Caught Dave by surprise there. Oh,
my turn. I don't know if I was going to do an honorable mention. I only got like 6 books this week.
Right.
6.
I got short shift, Well, if I have to pick an honorable mention, it's going to be Drexler #1.
Yeah, I didn't get a copy of that. I didn't get a picture of that either. I'm sorry.
The story.
I wanted to check it out though. It looked cool.
The story is all right. The artwork's kind of tough pill to swallow on it, but it has this very Men in Black vibe to it. Have like this organization going around kind of monitoring aliens on Earth and, taking out threats necessarily. Cool. And that's kind of where the book ends up with like, they got this one very aggressive species that has managed to make landfall on Earth and is attacking farmers essentially.
Oh, nice. All right. That's cool.
My number 3 pick this week is Feeder #1.
Yeah, I did not get that. I'm so sorry, Dave.
But it is essentially the story of a burned out 80s action star getting a second chance at being in the movies again. He's working as a bouncer at a bar, and pretty much he gets contacted by his agent and is set up to work with some very sleazy producers.
Are there any other
Yeah.
kinds of producers?
Yeah, no shit.
No, there's
So
no.
what is it? Looks kind of like a I don't know.
Right now, I would probably look at it more along the lines of maybe a redemption story with a
Okay.
arc in it. I mean, he's pretty crass as a bouncer.
Yeah, but
But
there's
apparently,
no,
like,
hook. What's the hook?
He's
Or is it just told well?
it is told,
put him
and
on the
it's
spot.
told by it's got a bunch of flashbacks. It's got some flashback
Okay.
in it, but he's he's not like a major 80s star. He was he was maybe the C tier action stars with Ninja Cop and stuff like that. And he's kind of he's just
Yeah.
Is Ninja Cop a thing? I know Samurai Cop's a thing.
there's like in the 80s there were like these movies that were kind of like
Yeah, like pulp, like foreign pulp, Asian pulp, or
not necessarily that. You had like Jeff Speakman, and there's like American Ninja,
right,
and some other stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
But if he's if you have
I only know
Stallone-
Samurai Cop because they made a riff tracks of it. But
Yeah.
there's action movies. You have Stallone, Bruce Willis, and Schwarzenegger, and then you have Steven Seagal and Van Damme, A
Right.
tier, B tier, and then you have all these other ones like Jason Speakman and a few other people like that.
Okay.
from, 80s and 90s.
Okay, no, that's cool. I see what you're saying. That's cool. That's a
So-
fun take because they made some dope movies, dude.
They did make some pretty
Yeah.
dope movies back in the day, like The Exterminators and all that.
Yeah.
That's a favorite of mine.
Yeah. Nice, good call. I wish I didn't get a copy of that either. It's such a weird week for comics. My number 2 this week was Daredevil and Echo number 1. Nobody on this. This is by half of the Black Eyed Peas, B. Earl and Taboo, with Phil Noto doing the art.
I keep getting turned away by the Black Eyed Peas creative team here,
You
which
should
apparently is a mistake. Apparently, that Spider-Man thing wasn't half bad.
It was amazing. It was
What,
really an art-driven
the one
book.
with the devil bear in it. The very
Yeah,
trippy
well, the
one?
devil there.
Yeah. Great panel here from Noto, but the writers on this do a really good job of moving from a point in the past to the moment that we're having in the present. But their pacing is like, hey, here's 2 pages of now, here's 2 pages of the past, and then here's 2 pages again, and now here's 1 page in the present, 1 page in the past. Now here's a half a page in the present, half a page in the past, and then it goes panel by panel where Echo and Matt Murdock are having this adventure, and it's mirrored against from the 1800s, someone from, I don't know, Echo's same tribe or someone who was also like the goat, whatever she is with that hand. I'm not up on my Echo lore, right? But one of Matt Murdock's ancestors back then. And it was awesome. The pacing is what really pushed me in this because it kept building up, and it was so well done. Yeah, Gangs of New York Daredevil mashup. That's exactly what it was. They mentioned 5 points in this from Gangs of New York. It was just really well done. But again, it's all set with that art from Phil Noto, and that really pushed it over the top.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, Phil Noto drawing
Yeah.
a book is always like doing half the work for you,
Yeah. And I really think B. Earl and Taboo have these characters' voices. I've read a lot of Daredevil.
Well, that's my fault for underestimating them.
Yeah,
That's
I've
my bad.
read not as much Echo, mostly Bendis, but yeah, I think they did a really good job here, dude. And I was pleasantly surprised. Any other week, this would not have hit my top 3, but I just had a great time with this book. So yeah, Daredevil and Echo, a number 1, fantastic debut. Taylor's number 2 this week.
My number 2 is Justice Society of
Yes.
America, number 4.
I skipped this. I am not on this book. Go ahead.
I'm a stand for the Justice Society. I loved Jeff Johns' run from back in the day with the really prolonged Kingdom Come story that he was doing.
Mhm.
I love these characters. I'm enjoying seeing them here. This cover is completely misrepresentative of what happens in the book. Um, but yeah, I really like the art, and I love these time travel shenanigans. I think that Jeff Johns is pulling it off really well. Like,
Yeah.
apparently Huntress has the drop on this time traveler because she's a time traveler herself, and so
Right.
she's the only one who can do things that he doesn't see coming, and so she shoots his fucking finger off, and then he meets his future self, who is all of a sudden missing his damn finger.
Oh, cool. That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, so this book is very specifically something that I would enjoy, right? It's like
Right.
it's a trip through like comic book history. It's a teen that I really enjoy reading about, and it's Jeff Johns doing some good writing, which I haven't been able to enjoy in a while.
Is it Michael Janin and Jordi Belair on the art? Oh,
It is.
It might be worth picking up just for that.
It is great artwork.
Oh, I bet. Man. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to jump back and catch up on that. That Power Girl one shot is coming, and it's supposed to stem out of that a little bit. So we'll see how that goes. Awesome. Dave, that leads to your number 2 this week. Take a number 2.
My number 2 is Red Zone number 3.
Gosh, see, I didn't get that one either. I totally skipped that this week. AWA.
AWA, Colin Buns,
And Mike
the writing
Deodato,
dude, Mike
man.
Deodato Jr. And it's essentially just more action going through it. We get a little bit of the background story of why things are happening in Russia at this time that relate to the past.
Oh, cool.
It's just basically a comic book version of Taken, is what it is. But it has cyborgs and old lady Russian snipers.
It feels to me like James Bond in the 80s when he would go to Russia, like 20, 30 years later now,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh shit, these guys have really planned. They've really been waiting on me to get back.
There's
Fort
always
Pierce Johnson.
always somebody's got something going on, because like they had the man in the cyborg suit is essentially like an oxygen. He's like 80 years old on an air tank and still smoking. The oxygen tank and still smoking, but he's running around in a cyborg suit, and
That's
it's
awesome.
like that was like one of the most. It appeared in the previous issue, but it was like one of the most unexpected things I was expecting in this book.
I
just
saw that in
loving
the
how
last
it
page of the
goes.
last issue, and man, I don't know how it just went under my radar. I was so busy this week, but yeah, good choice. Cullen Bunn is killing it right now. He's on that Venom book over at Marvel, so him doing horror in the Venom sort of verse thing is a really good idea. But yeah, Cullen Bunn's killing it right now.
Oh yeah, he's doing a bunch of stuff.
He's doing a lot.
Phantom of the Opera book.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. Yeah. All right, my number 1 this week is City Boy number 1. Greg Pak, Minkyu Jung. It's a well-crafted comic debut. It does everything that you need a character introduction issue to do. But it did so in this pretty fun way by moving back and forth between 3 different moments in our main character, City Boy's life, when he was, basically dropped off by his mother, left by his mom, a traumatic moment in his life. The moment where a scientist who was trying to use a computer to figure out how the city works and see the city as a system that can be recorded and documented and analyzed in such a way. That's how he initially got his powers, where he can just read a city. I know it sounds deep, but it's not. It's just as simple as that. He can read a city. And the moment now, when he's doing that sort of stuff, looking at using his powers to be like, all right, I know that someone dropped an AirPod under this bench, and I can go sell that AirPod. I know there's like $10 sitting under here under this trash can because some dude dropped it, a week ago, and it's just been sitting there since.
Yeah.
Very well done by Greg Pak. But the true appeal of this book is this character. It is just so compelling that he is going to open up this power that he can read a city. And from what I've read from the solicits for the future issues of this, he's going to be going to Metropolis. He's going to be going to Gotham. He's going to be going to Themyscira. And he's going to be reading these cities in a unique way where, what is a city? Is it the power plants? Is it the water plants? Is it the sewage? Is it the roads? Is it the buildings? No, it's the people who live in that city. And I just think this is a really unique way to dive into exploring characters from the ground up instead of from the top down.
That is, I like that premise a lot. I like the promise that those future issues hold. The thing that held this one back for me, go back to that last image.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so this fucking putz crime boss is like, I'm gonna do what I want now, city boy. He's just goading this guy who could kill him anytime he fucking wants to.
Yep.
And I get that I'm supposed to hate this guy, and I get that, like, you know, he's trying to, like, you know, lay low or whatever, but I hate it when that's like one of the characters in the book. Like, you remember that Fantastic Four issue from a while back? I thought it was stupid. The guy was like, "Yeah, you can kill me anytime you want to, Human Torch, but I know you won't." You know?
Yeah.
Like,
no, he's a mustache twirling sort of villain.
Yes, he's
but
such
I think
a
Hawk
fucking
put that
tool.
in there for a reason. I don't think
He
this
did.
villain
He
is going to have anything to do with anything.
Oh no, he's done. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
he's
sure he
gone.
killed him at the end of this issue.
Yeah, and Darkseid shows up on the last.
Yeah,
page,
fucking
so-
Darkseid. I mean,
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. Yeah.
Dude,
You
right?
were a threat to Apocalypse.
So
Apparently,
imagine
yeah.
him going to Apocalypse and reading Apocalypse as a city.
That could be pretty cool. I like.
I know
that
there's
idea a
so
lot.
much potential here, and that's
we
why
have
I put it
we are
on-
in need
on
of
my
better
number one.
planning.
Like, as like a road
Yeah,
trip for the
right.
DC, like as like a vehicle for us to take a road trip to the DC universe. This is really cool.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a
On the
pet
note.
peeve. It's not a good criticism. It's just something that, like, personally gets under my skin whenever these guys are like, "Now you work for me, guy who can stop me anytime he wants to." You know,
You're way more powerful
so
than I
stu-
could ever be, but
Yes!
I've got
Yeah.
leverage.
Yeah. If you look a little bit deeper into it, how about Darkseid setting this dude up for City Boy to murder his ass? You know what I'm saying? Darkseid, classic
Maybe.
Darkseid, classic. And that leads us to Taylor's number one. There's nothing else that it could not be.
it
Go
has
ahead.
to be Nightwing number 104.
Look at that cover. I love that. It's
Yeah.
an homage cover. It's a meme homage
Yeah,
cover.
it's a
Maybe the
meme.
first ever.
It's that that burn meme.
Yeah, it's the burn meme. Yeah.
But this is a good partner book for that Titans book that just came out, because it basically is just an issue of that. But yeah, this is the thing specifically that I love about this book. I love the character moments that it facilitates. Where Nightwing, what does he do when he actually has powers? When he has, like, the ability to kind of impose his will on the rest of the world in a way that he
Right.
never could have before. He wants to go get some perspective. He wants to go talk to Superman about it. And I thought that was such a cool character moment. Like, Superman flies him up and gives him, like, a perspective that, and like Nightwing talks about, like, you know, yeah, I've gone off planet before. I've been in the Watchtower and everything, but this is different. This is a view that only Superman could have shown me, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like, and the whole thing with, like, Raven being such a badass boss at the end of the issue.
Yeah.
was-
No,
She was-
Raven's great in this. Every character is great in this. But my
Yeah.
favorite part about this book is Dick's unflinching adoration for himself and what he brings to the table. He's
I want to call that
powerful.
adoration. I would say that that's
He
more.
loves himself
He
in a way that he's comparatively better than these people with superpowers when he does not have any superpowers.
I don't think you're
You know what I
using the
mean?
correct words for that. But
Maybe
yeah, I
not.
see what you're
Maybe
saying.
not. But there is like a really positive ego there.
Dick does have an amazing moral compass, and he knows that he does. He is this true North character that that all of his superpowered friends kind of can build around. Like,
yes.
he hangs out with, like, the Flash. He was, like, one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you totally buy the way that Tom Taylor's writing this, that, yeah, this is the guy that Wally leans on, you know, even though
Right.
he's the one without any powers. And yeah, it's cool to
Right.
see him, like, just kind of go around and, like, whoop some ass with these powers here. And then he, like, flies her off, and he's like, I've got to get back in time. And to see my friends easily handle the situation. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, dude. There was an angle here to me where Dick really leaned into how much he loves himself. And they have leaned into Dick Grayson having an ego, knowing that he's better. But he's grown. There's been growth there where is it ego still in the
I'm not
like, stereotypical
I wouldn't call
like,
it ego.
negative way?
I really don't think so. Like, I think there's an important distinction there. Like Batman has an ego. Batman's a great
Right.
character. I love Batman, but Batman does have a I'm the only one who knows what to do type of thing. Whereas Dick doesn't seem obsessed with like proving that he knows what to do. He doesn't seem like he's
That's
not a
a great way
control
of saying
freak
it.
like Batman does, you know?
That's a great way of putting it. If Batman was offered these powers, he would have made that deal with Neron.
At least he would have brooded about it.
Yeah,
more.
he'd have brooded about it.
But
Dick was
Dick
like,
didn't.
"Nah,
he
dude."
didn't think twice. You know, he's like,
exactly.
"No, I'm not taking this Faustian bargain, dumbass," and just hits him with the
Yeah.
magic sticks. You know.
Yeah, even the little girl who was like, "No, he's right. I'll give myself up so that you can have these powers." Even then, he's like face palm. He's like, "You don't get it. I don't want these powers. I'm basically better off without these powers." Hanging out with the Flash, hanging out with Superman and Superboy. It's shown me that I'm a hero without the powers. The powers would make me worse. 'Cause
My
they must be
ego
looking
is my
up in a this
superpower.
weird way, you know?
I really don't think that you're framing it right with the ego.
I may
thing,
not
but,
be,
yeah.
but I mean, you feel my wave though, right? I think we have this. We're surfing the same wave. Just
I do agree
maybe on
that,
different
like,
reefs.
He did not give in to the temptation of it for even a second. You know, there was
Mhm.
never like an internal monologue panel where he was even considering doing this. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
He was talking about like, oh man, this is overwhelming. Like, oh man, like this is a lot to take in. But we never really. He is a character who kind of like inherently knows the right thing to do,
Yeah, he's
and he
infallible.
never shies away from it.
He's infallible.
In that
dude.
sense, he is very similar to Superman in a lot of ways, right? The way that Superman
Yes.
is written.
Yeah. Good call. Great call out for number one. I cannot wait for the next issue. Dave, go ahead with your number one. Wrap us up, Broseph.
All right, Soko number 2.
See, I didn't. You go ahead. I didn't get that one either.
Oh man,
God damn it, Dave!
I
You
know.
asshole.
Why do you pick such random books?
I had 6
It was
books.
a weird book. It was a weird
was-
week for indie books, dude.
But this, the previous issue we discover, this is Bosnia, this is corrupt cops, and we see how far the corruption goes, and new players in the game. Some people who are so sadistic they kill children just for being
Fun.
nosy. It is,
Oh wow.
there's a lot of dialogue going on in this book, but it helps because now we have like another criminal faction. We have a corrupt cop. We have a criminal faction, and we have uncorrupt cops trying to solve the crime while the corrupt cop is running interference for it. Is just like one of their
Drama.
It's deep.
Nice.
One of their like deliveries or smuggling shipments gets found out by a kid, and this new guy just comes in and is like, "You've seen too much, kid," and pop. I mean, it was what the hell is going on?
Sort of like The Wire. It's like deep crime drama.
Well,
sort of shit. That's cool.
I've only seen bits and pieces of The Wire, but yeah,
me too.
It's on that scale.
Cool. Nice. Good shout out. Indie book. What publisher is that on?
It and Sumerian. It's from Sumerian, but Feeder is also from Sumerian.
Yeah, it was a Sumerian week.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I said,
Aftershock had
my
books
shop
out
didn't-
this week too. but-
yeah. Like Dexler was from Scout.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I hadn't gotten short ship, my top 3 would be very different.
Nice.
Because there was some stuff I was looking forward to this week. that I
Thanks,
didn't get.
UPS. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, check out what they're doing over at the Comic Book Bullies. Leroy and Eli do a show every week. Tonight on these channels and other channels.
I gotta know what Leroy's problem with Dr. Pepper is.
Oh man, dude, yeah, that's an email. You need to send that dude an email.
I'm definitely like on the Team Coke gang there. I don't really like Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
myself.
You know why they call it Dr. Pepper? Because it tastes like medicine. It's
Because it
gross.
was originally cough syrup.
It's nasty. I do
'Cause
not
Dr.
like
Pepper-
Dr. Pepper. I'm not a fan of Mountain Dew though either, so I'm on the.
Mountain
I'm
Dew
on the
was
outs with
created.
that.
Mountain Dew was created to be a mixer with alcohol.
Yeah.
That's all soft drinks.
Mixes
No.
with moonshine specifically.
Yeah.
Mixed with moonshine. But Dr. Pepper and Coca-Cola were both originally cough syrups.
Oh, okay. All right.
That
Well, check out the Bullies for pop culture stuff. Check out us for science and history. If you want more links to what they got going on, OutrightGeekery.com. There's links to everything the Bullies got going on, everything we've got going on, the videos, the audios, the social medias, the Patreons. The
Gomer,
merches.
get in that last comment there.
Which one? Oh, there's a comment. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, Leroy. Fuck Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Leroy, thanks for hanging out, bro. Look it.
You spoke his
lurks.
name and he doth appear.
He lurks every fucking week, but it's like, fuck Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I agree, bro. I don't like Dr. Pepper. It tastes like medicine. But yes, I'm sure Leroy will have a lot to say about Dr. Pepper tonight on the Comic Book Bullies. Please check them out. They have a whole lot of fun.
I don't know if Leroy's going to take that bait, you know. I mean, he should.
No, he will. He will. It'll be 45
It
seconds.
at least shows that
I hate to think, you know, that they base their programming around what we say.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no,
He'll
they don't
mention
base
at
our
least. He'll mention something.
Gomer gets mentioned a lot.
No, I
surprisingly,
do.
on the
I
Comic
love
Book
that
Bullies.
shit.
They bring they
I have
mention
hard
this
opinions.
podcast quite a bit, but
I
they
have
mention
hard
Gomer
opinions.
specifically a lot.
Yeah, I
on
have
that
hard
podcast.
opinions.
Gomer is the one who sucks.
Yeah, they're all wrong. It's easy to beat me up and get views on
No,
your show.
no. Well, the
Both
most recent one
physically and verbally. It is
Right.
easy
the
to
most
beat
recent
you
one
up.
I remember hearing was that you could do a movie review and not see the movie like Gomer does.
I do that. I read all the spoilers online. And I'm like,
You
I've seen
lean
that
on
movie.
us. We go see the damn movie, and then you talk about it as though you have seen it.
Yeah, well, I read all the spoilers. Isn't that, if I read someone's review of it, I definitely have something to comment.
Yeah, my brother.
It's better than nothing, but I feel like the
Thank you.
synopsis doesn't capture.
I just don't like theaters.
Yeah.
I'm the Cliff's Notes of the cinema. Yeah. If you like what we did tonight, also come back tomorrow night. We're going to talk about all the new comics coming out Tuesdays and Wednesdays this week. So we really appreciate everybody hanging out, listening. Oh, another comment. Here it is. I read the spoiler too. Thank you, Jeff.
He's got
Thank
your
you.
back.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff's always got my back. Thank you, dude.
Someone needs to.
Yeah, no shit. But again, thanks everybody for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Most of all, thanks to these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Always fun.
We are gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek show.
You keep cutting him off.
Internet's hard to